Hello everybody. Today I'm in Oaks for the Oaks Train Show. And I figured while I'm here I'm going to do just a little quick video here. I'm going to do a longer, fuller extent video eventually about Oaks because there's a lot of history up here, a lot of train history, a lot of perk history, etc., etc. A lot of people don't realize when you come into the convention center this way, there's a convention center. There's the little engines. They're actually still sitting on rail. And the rail, you can't see it mostly, but the rail they're sitting on is actually Perkiomen Railroad rail. As this right here used to come down here. I don't know how much is still in the ground. Yeah. Willing to bet this little strip here, there's a whole bunch of rail still in. I know at one point in time, until they repaved the road down here, you could actually see the rail sticking up through Egypt Road. Just down there around the bend is the Oak Station. I'm going to do a video on that someday too. Like I said, I have a whole bunch of stuff I can do up here. Because down this way, like I said, down there, the line used to come through here. Oaks train station's down there. It's hard to believe that the Perk Railroad came through this. There used to be a Firestone tire plant. I forget if it was here or over here. Somewhere in here is the Firestone plant. So anyway, the rail is still mostly in the ground. A lot of people don't realize it. It goes up there towards the Oak Station. Then you can see it's here. And it goes down. The bridge is still down here for Perk Junction. It takes you where the Perk Junction used to be. I actually know the owner of this area and the current owner of the Perk Junction property. It's one of my future videos. I wanted to work on trying to get some access and do a full video on that. You can see the rail. And I'm going to do a more extensive video on all these little engines in here. They pop up a lot on abandoned rails and certain Facebook groups, and everybody has to ask questions about them. So I'm going to do a little bit of a fuller extent video on these also someday. Here's a little speeder. Has a Ford flathead V8 in it. Pretty crazy. I don't know when this was built. This used to be in a lot better shape than it's in now. Unfortunately, a few years ago, from what I was told, somebody had a diabetic emergency or something coming through here and crashed into it. Wasn't vandals, just an accident, but it's really cool. Model A flathead 8-cylinder. Here's spark plugs. Maintenance away flat cars. Still see the Perk Railroad underneath it. A little Whitcomb. This is from what I was told is gas powered. This is a gas powered Whitcomb. It's skinny. It's narrow. But it is standard gauge. It is not narrow gauge. It is standard gauge. This was actually part of the Steamtown collection and bought in 1988 by the current owner from the Steamtown auction. I think at one time this either ran or was close to running when it was here, when it first came here. But this is the Whitcomb gas power. This is a GE center cab from Allenwood Steel. Steel plant, Conshohocken, was it? I think it was Conshohocken. But it was this Allenwood Steel. I'm not 100% sure on the size. I think it's a 45-tonner. 45-ton GE center cab. When this first came here, this actually ran. This needed carburetor work, and they did have this engine running at one time. So this ran. Of course, vandals had their fun with it. Everybody loves to vandalize train equipment. As you can see, people have gotten inside. Wildlife and vandals, they love messing with stuff. And up here, there's a little Porter 65-ton steam engine. I know the whole history. I might do a whole video on this one someday because there's a neat history behind this. Not even talking right. Behind this engine, neat little history. I might do a whole thing on this one. But this here was actually part of the Steamtown collection at one time. If you see the side, it used to say Steamtown 1. But again, I'll probably do a more extensive video on this, but this was from the Steamtown collection. This was also bought in 1988 by the current owner from the Steamtown auction in 1988. Despite what anybody may want to tell you, this engine, although it probably could have run when it was bought, it was never intended to operate up here. Never intended to run. The owner bought it just to have it. This engine here, I think, was the one that was going to pull, the owner wanted to do dinner trains at one time. He owned track rightage up to the DeVault. I think he owned up that way a little bit, and some of the other property in the area. Some of the rail that's been now long gone that went into the Firestone plant. He owned that track rightage, and at one time back in the 80s was going to do a dinner train. And like I said, the steam engine was never intended to be fired. He never bought it to run it. But he did have, there were 2 coaches up here. I forget where the coaches went, but the coaches are up here. And the owner was going to do dinner trains or something of the sort. With the trackage that is now gone, also he was going to do, like I said, that's up here is the DeVault line. Used to be part of the Pensy. This is the Perk, later to become part of the Reading, became the Reading branch. You can see the switch down here. Down this way a little bit is the bridge that goes over the river and into Perk Junction. Then it interchanged with the Reading main line. And it also went over a diamond over top of the Pensy. The Pennsylvania Railroad was right down there too. And until they shifted the trackage, this DeVault line here used to connect to the Pensy. And I forget at what point in time they changed the switch and it now attaches to the Perk/Reading. So anyway, I figured I would just do a little video here while I'm up here. Again, I'll be doing a more extensive video on the history of these engines and about the Perk branch up here and Perk Junction, Oaks. Like I said about Green Lane, there's a whole bunch of ideas for videos up this way I'm going to be doing. So stay tuned for them in the future. See ya.